Hello, everybody. Let's wait on David. Welcome to the show. I hope you're all doing well this evening. We got a lot of stuff to get into. Hey, Scott, good to see you. Craig McDonald, hello. Let's see. Let's push this down a little bit. There we go. It's a little better. Let's see if we can get David Gonzalez. Hello, Gonzo. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. There he is. Let's add SoSharpDavid. Just a moment, please. Go. Should be here in just a moment. Hey, Raza. Good to see you. Bram. Run a mic. Red Island Shaver. Hello. How we doing, Dave?
Oh, I'm good. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well. You have a drink this evening?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm actually doing an Imperial Stout by Bottle Logic. Fantastic beer.
I'm drinking this Stella Artois Solstice Lager, which is pretty doggone good. I really like it. It's a nice,
It looks
easy.
it looks refreshing, dude. It looks
is.
very.
It's crisp. It's easy drinking. It doesn't have that metallic IPA taste. None of that stuff. So.
And then I
I'm
got
really
my grown
happy
man sippy cup over here too. For once the beer's done, I'm getting the sippy cup going.
What's in the sippy cup?
Just ice water. It is 95 degrees today. I even brought the fan in here to my restroom because it's miserable, dude. 2 minutes in this restroom right now, and I'd be dripping sweat. Like, I haven't done my shave video today. I haven't shaved because it's just been miserable, uncomfortable, hot in this house. So I was like, I'm just gonna wait till either a late shave video, or since the fan's in here, maybe I'll do it after this. But it's just miserable hot, dude.
All right. So first, I hate to start the show on a sort of somber note, but earlier I just found out some of you may know Kerry. He went by the name on Twitter of Shave Guy. I know he was active in, I think it was the Shaving Den or the Gentleman's Den. I can't remember. And I have known him on Twitter, and we've responded over email for probably 6 years or more. I remember one year I did a bunch of Christmas giveaways, and he won the PAA, the beach when it was in the Big Ten, and that's been what, at least 5 years ago, I want to say. He passed away, and so if anyone knows Kerry, he was on Twitter, and he liked Razor Rock stuff and PAA. So if you know Kerry, say a prayer for him and his family if you're so inclined. He will be missed. I know he's been ill recently, but it's just, it's a bummer when you lose someone, even though I didn't know him super personally. We've talked over the years quite a few times, and so, it's one of those things that happens, sadly. I don't know what he passed out right now.
Yeah, it's one of those things that since we build relationships with so many people, and it just so happens in the shave community, we do have a good amount of older gentlemen in the community. We see that. We see the deaths, unfortunately, and it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough. You almost wish that you could have done something, or maybe you could have just been a little bit more to that person, or it's just it's just a weird situation.
Well, thanks everybody for your thoughts on that. I saw Upfo, as I like to call him, Up for a Shave Dave, saying prayers, and so I see we got Sweet Ass Gonzalez in the house here, and Rona Mike.
Swag, baby. I think it should be swag.
We got a lot of
Sweet Ass Gonzalez, baby.
Speaking of that, Sweet Ass Gonzalez, who formerly known as the Dude of Shaving, now Sweet Ass Gonzalez. Hey, Jack. Jack from the Virtual Groom Room. Claudio. Hey,
what
Claudio.
Up, Jack?
Good to see you, man. Chris, what's up? Okay. Wanted to talk just a little bit leading in on swag, because he got that name. He was given that name was it Friday night or Saturday night? I can't remember. Was it Saturday or Friday? I think it was Saturday. The Stallion Pope Live.
That was Saturday.
So last Saturday night, Ray Pope dubbed the Dude of Shaving Sweet Ass Gonzalez. So that's his new nickname. He got that nickname via the Lather and Blade Facebook group, which has seen an increase in activity recently. There's a lot of fun in there. The one thing I want to say is, look, I'm a guy that in my professional life, I like to conduct myself professionally. When I'm on my YouTube channel, I like to keep it family friendly. You know, when I'm around family and I'm around people out in the public, I don't know. I'm not dropping F-bombs. I'm not. That's the way I live my life, rather clean in those spaces. But when I'm with my friends, when we're out and about, we're men. And so, yes, I'll use the word sweet ass, or I'll call them sweet ass, or, you know, I don't typically use a lot of profanity, but I'm not averse to it. This group is more oriented towards folks who just want to have a good time and not take things so seriously. Now, there is a lot of shaving. I want to mention that. Like, there's a lot of active people in shaving, but it's there to have fun. Look, they poke fun of me, Ray Pope, day and night. They post pictures of me with you know, all kind of crazy memes and whatnot.
Sexual organs.
If you join the group, what happened there? My screen just froze up. Anyway, if you want to join that group, just beware that it's not, I would call a square sort of group. There are plenty of groups that are very buttoned up that you can join that are family friendly and so on. This is not one of those. However, there is a high volume of shave activity, which that's really what I enjoy, but I enjoy the ball busting too, you know, so whatever it's worth. I see David is freezing a little bit there. Am I still coming into the rest of you? Because I see David freezing there for a second. Hopefully, I have to re-add him. Yep, looks like I lost David for a minute. Anyway, the group, I'll add David in just a moment when his internet's. Are y'all still here? Comment below, or comment period. Let me know it's still going. Okay, it's still going? Okay, let's go back and add David again. We lost him for a minute, but we shall add him again. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. Sometimes we have technical difficulty. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, there we go. I'm getting a little bit of echo. Let's see now. Good. Yeah, good. Okay. Did you get a call or something?
Yeah, and then I rejected it, and then it just fucked everything up, dude. So I was like, oh, I'll just get out and go back in.
Okay, let's get started. Well, first, give your thoughts on the Lather and Blade Facebook group before we leave that subject.
Oh man, it's just been a lot of fun. It's a place to let your hair down and just be a little bit free spirited, man. A lot of the stuff in shaving is real buttoned up, heavily moderated. And it's just a place, as long as you're not blatantly disrespectful to people, as long as you're not attacking nobody's character or who they are, a lot of things are let go. And it's just fun, man. It's bringing a brotherhood and a camaraderie that the Facebook shave groups have been missing.
Right.
And then, of course, it's a unique vibe with all the live shaves, live unboxings, everything that we have going on in the group is just a very unique experience that anything else is out there right now. And it's fun.
It is indeed. Okay, on to the first subject. So we saw a couple of weeks ago a lot of conversation around pre-shaves and whether they add anything or not. My feeling about pre-shaves are, number one, the first rule for me with pre-shaves is I don't like oils at all, ever. Oils to me are detrimental. I don't like them on my face. I know some people do enjoy them. So I'm not poo-pooing them for other people. So the things that I talk about are not prescriptive for other people, meaning I'm not telling you what to do. Do you have an earpiece in? I'm getting a lot of echo.
No, I don't.
Yeah, maybe try it again because I'm getting a lot of echo. You guys hearing the echo? Sorry, we're off to a bad technical start today. There we go. What's up, Chief?
All right, now we're good.
Yeah. Now you sound great.
Yeah,
anyway,
dude, getting a phone call during these lives is such a disaster, dude.
Anyway, for me, I enjoy the glycerin-based pre-shave cubes. I think some people feel it removes some of the oil and makes the hair stand up and all sorts of different things. I can't validate any of that, but they don't hurt. At least the cubes that are like glycerin-based, I don't think they hurt whatsoever. Whether they help or not is, I just don't know. There are people who really believe they do help, though. Your thoughts?
I think the amount they help is marginal. I think the people that probably benefit the most from it are probably those that have really dense beards. Anything you could do that can impart some extra moisture impart some extra magic into that thick, coarse beard, I think it's going to be just fine. I think oils are counterproductive. They gunk up your brush. They get a real nasty buildup on your brushes, and it's just
That's
something that you
true.
don't really. I don't advise. I would actually advise against oils. The glycerin-based soaps, I think it's fine. And again, if you have one of those dense beards, it probably does help.
Shady and Jack says that the chief has been using pre-shaves on the down low. So what's up, Lyle? Yeah, the chief really, he as see often is the case, the chief tees something up for conversation, and then we go back and forth. He'll just introduce a subject that interests me because I like to talk about shaving. And my feeling is they don't hurt and they're relatively inexpensive, at least the glycerin-based cubes. So at worst, you'll boost your lather. And so, when it comes to oils, I'm like you. I don't recommend it. However, there are some people that swear by them. And so I'm a big fan of telling folks, look, if it works well for you, do it. And that's kind of probably where we end on that one.
Yeah, yeah, we're in that position where we get a lot of people asking for advice, and it's just one of those things that if I'm advising somebody, I'd advise away from oils. Again, if you do it, do I hate you? No, but I definitely, if a newer shaver or anybody asked me, I would advise against the oils.
So the next topic is another one that, interestingly enough, the chief was opining on, and we were sort of going back and forth, and that is, should we take sort of vendor and their status within the community into account when making purchases? And that is, are they a good steward of the community? Are they not? Are they completely withdrawn? Do they talk badly about customers? Do they crap talk other vendors? I'll let you go first on this one. What are your feelings about whether those things should be taken into account or not?
Whether or should or shouldn't be, I don't think is the right question. For me, I do take it into account. It's a personal choice that everybody needs to make for themselves. Kind of like morality. Everybody has different morals and standards that they want to live by. And for me, I absolutely expect the vendors in our community to conduct themselves well. Do I expect them? Am I one of those people that says the customer is always right? No, but you shouldn't be disrespectful. You shouldn't be dismissive of your customer's problems, and you shouldn't be outright rude. There's certain again, and it's usually those just treat people how you'd want to be treated type of situations. But if you're somebody that just doesn't show appreciation to the people that are giving you money, they're helping you pay your bills and put food on your table, that's a real problem. You can't allow vendors to disrespect the people that are buttering their biscuit, man.
Yeah, when I came back to doing videos seriously around January, I came back and said, I'm not going to think about it at all. I'm just going to go with the clean slate and everything starts all over. And that was working well. And then I began to hear some things recently, and I'm like, I just don't like that. And it really started wearing on me, like the way certain people conduct themselves and the way they treat customers. And for me, I look at it this way. When you have a YouTube channel, you have the potential of influencing people. I know we don't try to sell things, but let's face it, we use products and sometimes people buy them. I don't want to send somebody who watches a video of mine to an artisan that's going to crap talk them, to an artisan that's going to treat them poorly, to an artisan that's not going to be good to their word. Now, that said, I know that sometimes there are disputes between customers and artisans and people in the business. That's going to happen. But for me to knowingly use a product and maybe have customers go to that vendor or artisan and have them treated badly, I respect my viewers too much to knowingly use someone who is known to operate that way. And so I've made the personal choice to look, if you are somebody who is being abrasive, if you're targeting customers, if you're constantly crap talking in a mean-spirited way, the other artisans, there are just certain standards we have, and I'm not going to use those products. Now, that said, I'm not going back in the past. I'm talking about as of like a week ago when I talked about it, because look, we can throw a rock and hit an artisan at this point. There are tons of them. And so you said something like a week or two ago. I'm not a slave to anybody's talent, meaning just because the product is good doesn't mean I need to buy it, because there's many, many, many good products. And so for me, I don't want to indirectly send someone to somewhere where they're going to be mistreated knowingly. Now, it's one thing, look, not every artisan is perfect, and there are going to be little things that, you know, that just don't work out at times. But when you know good and well that somebody routinely does things that are untoward, why bother with? Why even mess with them? I mean, why not keep the people who are doing business in the way that you're like in business by giving them your business? That's the way I sort of look at it.
I 100% agree with you on that, man. I don't understand the concept of supporting somebody that is rude and just and I'm not somebody that holds a grudge, literally. And this is something that this is a little insight into my marriage, my personal life. Literally, I won't argue something about with my wife. I won't want to argue if it's not something that could end our marriage. Literally, if I'm bothered by something, I'll express my feeling. 15 minutes later, I'm over it. But again, if somebody is constantly reminding you that they're a fucking bad person, I can't understand supporting that type of person. Everybody's gonna have missteps. I've made a lot of missteps. You've made some missteps in that.
Absolutely.
By no means am I a perfect individual. I'll never hold anybody to that standard. But if you're constantly doing fucked up stuff, um, I can't wrap my mind around giving them my money. That's just crazy.
Well, the way I thought about it was, would I send my 27-year-old daughter down to the repair shop down the road if I knew that that repair shop was known for talking smack on customers, ripping people off? No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Shouldn't I have that same standard with the viewers? Now, that said, I know a lot of times we don't know every single artisan and vendor personally. I don't expect them to be angels in their personal life. No one is. But the way you conduct business in the community, so we see people all the time who, Moon Soap's been getting a lot of publicity lately because of the way they conduct themselves. They're friendly, they're supportive, they put their products out there, people enjoy them, and it feels good to support people like that. You know, it makes me feel good, at least.
No, I absolutely. Doing good things for good people. Like, where's the loss in that? How could you possibly ever second guess that, or how do you, that's just a good feeling, man. Like, I just did an order with Sterling today, and I haven't done an order in Sterling for a while. Not because I don't like them, but they don't do a lot of marketing. They're kind of real low key. They have a solid fan base. I have like 4 of their soaps, so it's not like I haven't given them my money before. But uh, they're good people. They came off so great in the interview that you did with them on your YouTube channel. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna do an order with them just because they're good people, dude. I
It
have their
does feel
soaps.
good. That's
Yeah,
part of it for me. It just feels good when you, now, Grant, I know some people will say, well, you don't know them personally, you don't know everything, but we don't, there are few people that we know intimately all the time, but this is a small niche community, even with all the artisans we have. So personally, if it's known, like I said, we will talk about it, and I will not spend my money in places where people are knowingly being ugly to customers. That doesn't mean one dispute with one customer, let's be clear. And also, the
yeah,
other thing I must mention is I believe strongly in redemption. I believe strongly in forgiveness. So if someone works their way back into good, being a good steward, we give them another chance. I mean, where would we be in life without forgiveness? Where would I be? I mean, how many mistakes have I made in my life? How many mistakes have you made? We all deserve second chances. And so I don't believe in just casting people out forever without a chance of redemption, too. That's something just I wanted to make note of.
oh, absolutely. Second chances is what life is about. We're all gonna do some pretty egregious stuff in our life. But again, as long as the person doesn't show a real true flaw in their character, I'm willing to definitely revisit them at a later time. I've never cast anybody off and said I'll never fuck with these people again. That definitely something I would not do and I can't condone doing because people evolve, people change.
Yes.
Just like I'm not the same person at 18 that I am now at 33. That would be foolish
Hmm.
for anybody to think that I'm that same person. And I did some messed up shit in my teens. So, do I feel bad about them? Yes, but I don't kill myself over it because I know I've grown as a person. I've evolved over these last decade and a half. So yeah, people change, man.
So, the great Ken Klitschko, also known as a Lancaster man, and if you haven't seen that meme, go look at it. It's got Ken Klitschko with the Lancaster cows. Um, he brought up something the other day, and I think I saw also, again, Chief talking about this aggression versus efficiency. And there seems to be some people sort of flip-flopping around on aggression and efficiency. And here's part of the problem with this hobby is we have a lot of established terms that people have used for years and years and years. And then some new people come in and the terms start changing. And then people are like, oh, I don't know what is aggression, what's efficiency. What is your feelings about aggression and efficiency? Because I heard someone say there is no aggression, just efficiency. And I thought to myself, I've used some aggressive razors. Like you can, they're aggressive. You can feel it. So what do you think?
Well, first off, just Lather Hog, I just want to say, yes, I am 33 years old. That is what I said. I seen your question right there. In terms of aggression and efficiency, there is absolutely a difference, in my opinion. Something like the carbon razor. The carbon razor is very efficient, but you don't get that extreme blade feel as you would get with something like the R41, or if anybody has used the original Paradigm. You feel the difference. Now, an aggressive razor it's one of those things like all zucchini are squash, but not all squash are zucchini. The carbon razor is not aggressive, but it is very efficient. But usually, all aggressive razors are going to be efficient. So it's just a weird balance that you got to just see. And I think we just make it so confusing because we want so specifics, or we want to, I don't know, eliminate certain aspects to try to simplify it. But by trying to do that, we fucking make it worse.
So would you say that a lot of blade feel usually lends itself to a razor feeling aggressive? So for example, the carve, for me, even all the way up, it's very efficient, but it doesn't feel what I would call aggressive. So to me, when I get the Yaki Night helmet and there's a ton of blade and you can feel it, it feels aggressive. Versus, like I said, a carve, which can shave all the way up on it. I think they go all the way to what? G, or I'm not sure.
G, I think, but I think only up to D in the open comb. I could be wrong, but
the G is very efficient, but still, it doesn't have the blade feel that, say, the Yaki Night helmet. So, to me, that blade feel and how much you feel that blade lends itself to aggressiveness. But efficiency is how well it's cutting. Like, how much are you removing per pass and so on. That's the way I would look at it, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. You usually put things better than I do, and yeah, you absolutely succeeded there. Yeah, I agree with you.
So Steve Walker, I've noticed he's here tonight. I know he's a beer fan. This is what we're drinking, or at least what I'm drinking. This is Stella Artois. This is a Solstice Lager, which is really good, easy drinking, and I'm enjoying it. What's that say?
Bottle Logic. It's a brewery here in Orange County. DK is a real big fan of them. I had pretty easy access to this because my son-in-law is a huge fan. So him and my daughter are at that brewery all the time with their special releases. So this is one of their special releases, and I always get them. And it's a 11% alcohol to volume. So it's a nice, strong beer.
You know what I would say, and obviously this isn't beer and IPA talk, but I always say for the guys who are concerned about how much alcohol is in a beer, drink some whiskey, drink some grain liquor. You know, if you're firing for effect, go big. Don't go 7% or 10% with a beer when you can go 45% with a regular whiskey, or you can go grain liquor. You can go Bacardi 151. Go big if you're going to talk about alcohol content. But if you're a beer guy and you're talking about strong alcohol content, maybe, go even stronger. Go big. That's the way I look at it. If you're strictly talking about alcohol.
I always go based on flavor, and I just love the job that Bottle Logic does in their stouts. That's what they specialize in, stouts. So they have a bunch of different flavor combinations mixed in with that. So I go flavor. I don't care about alcohol. If this was 2% alcohol, I wouldn't give a shit. I'm past the age. Yeah, I'm past the age where I want to get fucking blackout drunk. I just want
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that's enjoyable to drink, and for them, they're very enjoyable for me.
So- somebody just commented and said, please address the constant mowing crisis. Thank you. I'm telling you, ever since this damn Rona, people are home, and like there's only really 3 houses and a church that are really close to me. And it is every day of the week. I'm pretty sure these people are cutting the grass 3 days a week. And I'm like, every time I go outside, I sit down, like I try to do an unboxing, the lawnmower fires up, or the church is cutting the grass. It's not once a week because there's only like there's like 3 houses and a church. And it's like, I've never seen so much mowing. There's never been a better time for small engines. I'm telling you, because they are just running nonstop. And when it's not the lawnmowers, it's the weed eater. There's a lot of grass cutting going on up in here.
Well, you are in a place where it snows, right?
Yeah.
Probably people just get so fucking stir crazy from being stuck inside from the snow. Maybe they just find stupid reasons to fucking go out there and mow the lawn just because they
And
want to.
now we're not talking about farmland where it takes you like 3 days and say we're talking like half acre maybe, or maybe not huge, like an hour worth of mowing or 2 hours at the most. Anyway, we'll move on. One of the things I wanted to bring up today was something that's rarely mentioned, but one of my viewers this week mentioned something because I was talking about soaps like Razor Rock. So I used a Razor Rock soap last week. I got a perfect shave. It works perfectly for me. I don't need a lot of stuff, you know. And he mentioned that for him, he has a skin condition, whereas certain soaps will dry him out so badly that it creates problems for him. So one of the things I wanted to mention is use case. We don't really talk about use case a lot in this hobby. We talk about which soap is the best, which razor is the best, but we don't talk about use case. So my use case is my skin's not particularly dry. It's not prone to drying out. I do have a skin condition here, but it has nothing to do with soaps or anything else. It just, it's just something that happens there. I don't require a lot of post-shave products. I use witch hazel and I use a splash, usually alcohol. It works perfectly for me. Usually an hour later, my skin sort of goes back to the default setting at all times, almost regardless of the season. It doesn't matter for me. And I always say, look, if you really need skin conditioning, get a great balm, and then you can use it, in theory, any soap you want, unless you're allergic to ingredients. But for me, the post-shave, when I see guys talking about, this has a great post-shave, and I've seen them put on witch hazel and splash and balm, and I'm like, how would you know? It's got a this is the best post-shave I ever seen in my life. Oh, God. And I'm like, you just put on 12 post-shaves, you put on guy liner. I mean, there's no end to the amount of, I had this company send me this, it was like this, you wash your face with this stuff and you put on this moisturizing stuff. It didn't do anything for me. And it's a big company. These guys pay like $40 a month for this kit. It does nothing for me. It did not change my skin. And I'm talking about twice a day, applying stuff under the eyes. And I'm like, what is this? So the point I'm getting to is you might need that. And that's okay. But for me, I don't need it. And so when you're watching or reading a review, you have to be cognizant of the use case of the individual you're watching. Your thoughts?
Well, I think it's one of those things that we need to focus in and say this, especially those of us that are content creators, reviewers, or whatever, first fucking impressionists, whatever you want to call it. The difference between
That's exactly right, Lord Shady, that company you mentioned.
All right, so Lord Shady is a fucking good viewer. He seems to know a little bit about everything. I like him. But I think something that we need to focus in as content creators is the difference between need and want. Because just because like you don't need the unicorn milk or the chupacabra oil in your soap, something that you have said you needed is witch hazel because you had a little bit of a skin ailment and that helped you. That's a need for you. There's a lot of people out there that don't need witch hazel. I like witch hazel. I prefer using it, but I don't need it. And I think that's something that we need to focus in on when we're talking about or evaluating products is the difference between need and want. I don't need a Kaizen type lather. It's unnecessary. I don't need it, but I
It's
prefer it
enjoyable.
and I want it because I like that thick, excuse me, I like that thick, dense, heavy lather. That's just a preference, and that's what I want. But by no means do I fucking need that.
So the chief tried to slip a comment by me like I didn't see it. So I'm going to use his own words against him and batter him with his own words. So he said it's like guys who use pre-shaves and then talk about the slickness. Well, by the chief's words, pre-shaves don't do anything. So why would it matter if you use a pre-shave? They don't do anything. That's what he said. So no, actually, whenever I use a new base, I don't use a
Magic
pre-shave.
Mike.
I don't use a pre-shave with a new base. So whenever I test the soap that way, I don't use a pre-shave. Personally, for me, I think, well, let's get back on the subject. The use case, I think, is really, really important. It's rarely mentioned, and it's something that people should consider because your use case is different from mine, and I think it's really, really important. So, than you do when you use. Use the chief. You send me use water, so I don't need all these butters to protect me. I know how to shave, so I don't need all this stuff to protect me. That's what it comes down to ultimately.
That's something I wanted to talk to you about, though. Are you saying when you put a straight razor to your face, the feel of that blade is exactly the same with water as it is with Kaizen?
No, it doesn't feel the same. You definitely
That's
get more
cushion.
slickness.
That's cushion. No, just the
The
feel of
razor
the blade.
glides easier.
No, just the feel. Not how easily it passes your skin, but just the feeling of that razor on your skin from water to Kaizen. That's cushion, bro. That's how I view what cushion is. And I know you were saying you don't really believe in cushion, but in my opinion, that's the easiest way to explain what cushion is. That feel of the blade on your skin. And with water, again, it's all slick. I could just throw basic ass oil on my face and it feels slick. But cushion from a soap is the blade feel on your face. It feels different from water to Kaizen. It does feel different.
I got you. I got you. There's another thing I want to mention because we're in a hobby there's a ton of people that spend a lot of money for very expensive gear, and one of the things that is odd to me now for guys who have been in the military or some jobs, you have to shave every day, and often I hear people say, "I can't shave every day." And I don't mean that they don't grow hair. I mean, they say they cannot shave every day because it's too rough on their skin or this or that. And it always blows my mind because in the first 10 or 15 years of my career, I was in jobs where there was no option not to shave. And then I didn't know how to shave. And so I just had to, and it wasn't very pleasant, but I did it. And now that I know how to shave, and I'm obviously learning how to straight razor shave, but I know what my face will tolerate. It's fun to shave. So I shave. I'm a 7-day-a-week shaver. I rarely skip a day. And it's one of those things where I see guys and like they shave maybe twice a week, and that's it. But they have like 900 razors, and I'm like, well, why wouldn't you shave more with all this gear? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uh,
Excuse
Everything okay?
me, getting a beer.
I'm definitely not mad at you for that. So, what is the baseline question you want me to answer there? Because there was a lot.
So
There was a lot.
the question is, we're in a hobby that revolves around shaving, but there seems to be a lot of people that don't shave on a regular basis. Like you'll see a lot of people on they're taking photos and every time you see them, they're looking raggedy. And I'm like, now I understand if you have a beard like BK, you're going to have a beard. Or if you have a goatee like me, you have a goatee. But the rest of it, like I shaved this morning, it's going to be growing back some by now. But like you see a lot of guys that are shaving enthusiasts that don't seem to shave a lot. That's what I noticed. And I'm like, oh, I got 12 days of growth. And I'm like, how did you get, you got all this stuff. Why not shave, man?
I think it's back to case use. Now, some people, I think a lot of it has to do with just laziness, dude. And I
But
find
don't people
myself.
look, are people putting on when they say they love shaving, or do they love shaving? If you love shaving, you want to shave. It would seem to me.
Well, like the situation I'm in right now. My restroom, because there's no windows in here. My restroom is located in the center of the house. There's no airflow. It's miserable, dude. I love shaving, but the environment in this restroom is so fucking uncomfortable that I'll literally put it off for a few days. I love shaving. The act of shaving is fucking great, but it's so
Right.
fucking, the climate here is miserable. Like there's a lot of people that probably like jogging, but you probably don't jog when it's 105 degrees. You try to fucking jog when it's maybe 80 early in the morning, and it just gets so comfortable. There could be a circumstance like that, and some people probably just don't love it as much as they say they do. They find fucking weird excuses like, I like shaving with fucking 10 days growth, which is fucking weird. I can shave every day. It's not the most comfortable. Again, I enjoy shaving and I want the best experience possible. Every other day is when I feel is the best results for me. When I
I
shave
agree.
every day, I feel a little bit of sensitivity. And since I don't have a job that requires me to shave every day, I usually shave every other day. Except again, summertime, it's so fucking hot and gross in here. Sometimes I'll put it off longer just because it's uncomfortable in my atmosphere.
Now, one thing I will say is I rarely skip a day, but every now and then when I do, there's something about that 2 days of growth versus one. It feels like a nicer, more comfortable shave. So maybe that's why some people, I'm just asking questions. It doesn't matter to me whether you do or not. But in my head, I'm like, okay, if you have all this gear and you love shaving and you love all these scents and like, I actually enjoy that experience. And even when I'm not making videos, I still shave. Like, I don't
Yeah.
skip a bunch of shaves when I'm off video. I still shave. And the only time I don't is maybe if I'm camping or something and out in those conditions. And nowadays I'll even try to maybe record one or two in those situations as well. I just
Yeah.
like it.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love shaving. And this past year, I didn't do a lot of shave videos. Well, in 2019, I was still shaving every other day. I love the act of shaving. Yeah, those people that are fucking once a week shavers, your skin can't be that fucking sensitive. Man, the fuck up. You don't really enjoy what the fuck we're doing if you can't shave more than once a week.
Well, it kind of harkens back to the use case. There could potentially be people with, serious skin conditions of some sort. So I give the benefit of the doubt. I just wanted to raise the question because I'm all the time, I'll notice people and I'm like, well, he didn't shave. And I'm like, he's doing a video about shaving, but he didn't shave, and that can certainly happen. But I'm just, in my logical mind, it doesn't make sense if you are a shaving enthusiast and you don't shave, but,
Oh, dude, I wish I could shave every day. Again, barring when it's this hot, I wish I could shave every day. But no, I can, but I do get irritation. It makes me uncomfortable. I'll start itching, especially around the neck area. Here, I can shave my cheeks every single day with no problem. My neck area, I'll start getting itchy, and that's uncomfortable and not enjoyable. So I have to wait every other day because I don't like that.
right. And that's another thing too that I've heard. And like I saw, and I'm not picking on Justin, because I love Justin, but I've heard people say before, well, I work at like 4 a.m. And I'm like, well, get up at 2:30 and get a shave. Not do video, but you can still get a relaxing shave in, or maybe shave after you get home from work. Like I know guys like Fuzzy, shaving with Fuzzy, he'll work a shift at like he's going at, I don't know, midnight or whatever, or 3 a.m. and he's getting a shave and drinking coffee. I always, my personal perspective is I'll make time to shave. I'll just work it into my day. That's me. I realize that not everybody can do that, but it's just something I
Well,
want to do.
without doing a video, you should be able to finish a shave in 10 minutes.
Yeah, you can.
So it is not
But
outrageous to be able to fit in a shave. If you really enjoy shaving, you should be able to break in 10 minutes, no matter what weird time of the day that you go to work.
but if you're really trying to enjoy your shave, 20 minutes is usually, I would say, the average person really luxuriating and enjoying. Maybe let
Yeah.
15. I just think it's one of those things. I take my time, I enjoy it, and even for a long time when I wasn't making regular videos, I'd use macro root and still enjoy my shave. I just enjoy it. Now that years ago when I didn't know how to shave, I hated it, and it was I hated it, but I did it. But now, I enjoy it. So let me ask you this. We're seeing some razors now that are upwards of $700, $800 on some of these. Have we jumped the shark on some of these razor prices to the point where it's just completely like, because let me try to frame it a little bit. I can completely understand why a guy like the Chief or any of the Super Friends, Robin, Batman, Aquaman, Superman, Corey, Jack, Kyle, buy a Mexbrecker razor. He's forging that razor by hand. He's making this process. It's a long process. It's a very detailed process. And then you've got a razor that will stand the test of time. And it's been made by a gentleman's, blood, sweat, and tears, so to speak. So I understand paying $600, $700 for that type of razor. Would I do it myself? Probably not, but I completely understand the value in that. I don't know if I understand the value of a machined razor personally. For me, that's $700, $800, because it's different from a guy, forging it. That's my opinion. What do you think?
Well, I definitely have an easier time consolidating the fact that somebody is hand making something that makes it a little bit more value. But it's all relative to how much disposable income you have and how much happiness it brings you. Like, there's a lot of people in the community that don't straight razor shave at all. That never picked up a straight razor, have no desire to pick up a straight razor. So for them, that $800 DE razor that they're probably going to keep and use for the next 50 years or 30 years, depending on lifespan, that's worth it. And it starts to make sense. If I don't want to use a straight razor, then that doesn't even come into the equation. Me, who uses a straight razor, I can't justify that purchase. But for somebody that just loves DE shaving, this is what brings me joy on a daily basis, and I can afford it, yeah, I guess it could make sense. I won't ever do it. I won't spend $700 on it. But somebody that does a straight razor shave, I get it. Especially if this is your hobby, this is what you do, and it brings you happiness. Fuck it, do whatever you need to do to make you happy.
Yeah, I saw the other day, Chief Aquaman. He said he was on the Wolfman list, and he was talking about, I don't know if it was 480 or 500. I was like, whoa! When I bought a Wolfman razor, it was like 160 or it was less than $200, and I don't own it now because honestly, one I used for charity to raise money, and the other one I traded. But I think I even told Chief, I'm like, I think you're going to love that razor the way it looks, but you probably would have preferred a Sprecher. That's kind of the way I look at it, because it's just. Now, I know James, when he makes a razor, he's hand polishing, and it is a very detailed and time-consuming process. But I don't think it's the same as forging a blade. That's just my opinion.
Well, it definitely doesn't take the amount of craftsmanship and time. You appreciate somebody that's building something with their own two hands. And let's face it, DE razors are machined with the CNC machine. You punch in a bunch of variables on a keypad, and bam, the machine does the bulk of the work for you. I would never.
Canadian dollars, Chief says. So it's not quite that high.
I would never. I have put a cap in my own head of about $250 to $300 on a DE razor that I would ever spend. In terms of a straight razor, because it takes that so much time and detail with your hands, I pretty much have no cap of what I would spend. If I would figure out a way to save that money, I would spend it, and I would feel comfortable with it.
What about a $500 brush?
No, fuck no. I can't even justify that at all. No. There's nothing at all. You can tell me. Maybe if it was made out of Damascus steel, okay, then we're talking. Now you're talking about a mixture of the techniques of razor making. But fuck no. No.
I have always said that someone could get a black hair, make it completely jet black, and they could say, this is a Joe Exotic Panther hair knot, hand tied $950, and people would buy it. I'm telling you, if you make it exotic, they will come. Because there's, you know, mostly everybody pretty much agrees most of the badger comes from China, someplace. They're, you know, clubbing a badger and you're getting the hair. And then, but all of a sudden there's all these exotic knots. And I promise you, if it was jet black and it felt really nice and somebody said, this come from Joe Exotic's Tiger Farm, it was a Black Panther, and somebody would completely fall for that all day, every single day. Because when we first came into this, there was silver tip. That was the top of the game. And then a short time later, it was high mountain white, and I'm like, holy mackerel. Whew. It's exhausting with the brushes.
Well, that's why I can't even justify buying a $200 Paladin
Chief said
brush.
he'd buy it.
Oh, I'm sure Chief would. If I said that this was Iron
That's
Man,
a nice looking brush.
if this was Iron Man Martian badger hair and charged $1,200 for it, fucking Chief would want it. But at the end of the day, this hair, I love badger hair. Badger hair is my preferred face feel.
Yeah.
But it's a big ass fucking rodent. At the end of the day, it's a fucking extremely large rat, and I can't do I can't with how
The
good.
Fonz is here.
Who's the Fonz?
Dave
Dave
Kelly.
Kelly? I've used the Paladins. I've used the Simpson Manchurians. I've used Whiteborgs. I've used them all. The drop-off in performance or density or quality that you get from this knot that costs $55, I believe, is not. This is not $300 worse than a fucking Whiteborg brush. I'll tell you that right now. It's just not. Is Whiteborg a little bit nicer put together? Yeah, but to justify spending $300 more than I spent on that, I can't do it.
So I want to talk. I saw that darn Rob popped in. And this is one of his handles, which is
Beautiful.
really, really nice looking. That's a Sinbad knot dropped in it. But the thing that I'm worried about, honestly, I'm just gonna say this. I am worried that artisans like that darn Rob and Wolf Whiskers and Turn and Shave, their prices are going to escalate because of some of the other artisans that are charging so much for what, in my opinion, is less refined work. And so
That's a good point, Jack.
I'm seeing what I consider to be some entry-level turning going for $100-$150.
Ugly shit. Ugly. Just say it flat out, dude. There's some flat out ugly brush turners that are selling their brushes for $100 to $200. That is just shitty. That it looks like a tin can.
Well,
that's
now
the shape of some of these turners.
Keep in mind that everybody has different opinions on what looks good and what doesn't. But when you see something like that darn Rob brush or Milton from Turn and Shave or Wolf Whiskers, or you can name, 20 guys probably. It's good work. It's refined. There's tight lines. Everything is symmetrical. And then we see brushes where they're wobbly, they're off. And these brushes come in at $100, $150, and I'm like, oh my God, they're going to cause the whole market to go up because people are buying them, and I can't figure it out. And it drives, and it's like, I don't know. I'm afraid. I'll be honest, because right now, this is olive wood. It's very reasonably priced. And so, it worries me. And that's why I brought this brush in here. Not only to say that this is the first time I've dealt with that darn Rob, and he just does phenomenal work, and he puts his brushes up there and they sell, and it's a really decent price for what he's doing.
And again, props to that darn Rob. He's in the comments right now. And we don't usually reference the comments too often because in replay you can't see them. But he just said that his brush prices, it doesn't matter what other people are charging. He's charging pretty much what he wants. And I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Rob, thank you for popping in. And we absolutely appreciate your work. You have fantastic work. I have one of your brushes. I enabled Chris to buy that olive wood brush, which I think I want an olive wood brush now too, because I love how it looks. Yeah. And your work is phenomenal, and I appreciate you making such a high quality brush that people can afford. I love that, and I will always forever be an advocate for you. because your work is phenomenal and it's very affordable.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever made a spite buy?
Have I ever what?
Made a spite buy. So this razor right here, the Zazer. Now this, you'll see it in the video tomorrow. This came to me, this is $5.90. I got it from Turkey in less than a week. It was $19 to my door, so it was more to ship than for the razor. And it actually comes in decent packaging with instructions. If you remember the first Paradigm razors that Bulgoose sold, terrible packaging, like with a sticker. This packaging for a $5 razor is better than those first razors. Now, that's since been fixed, I'm sure. But anyway, the reason I bought this razor was because the guy from Razorine kept making comments on my Razor Rock Switch razor. Was Razorine is the original. That's a cheap imitation, like borderline trolley comments. And I was like, after a while, I was like, I'm just going to go to the competitor and buy the Zazer, which this is. And here's what it looks like. It's like, you know, it's a shavette, almost a Camastory style shavette, like the Razorine. And I pretty much got this razor because the guy was so aggressive and borderline trolley. And I'm like, I'm going to the competitor. And I was really impressed with how quick this came from Turkey for $5.90, $19 to my door. And it actually works pretty good.
I've never used a razor that style, and I've never purchased a fucking shave product out of spite. I have flirted with girls growing up out of spite and done other things like that, but I've never purchased a shave product out of spite. I can't say I have.
It just, he went on and on and on. And now I had ordered one of these before off Amazon, and I had to, it took like 2 or 3 months and it never came. So I just got this one direct from Turkey, and I was like, hey, let's give it a go. And if, I actually enjoyed using it. And so it was just one of those things where the guy was so trolly and like, you know, I'm the original. And here's the thing that people have to understand, because I've seen brush makers talking about other people's shape. A shape is a shape. Like, there can only be so many shapes. Now, I understand there are signature shapes that brush makers make, like wolf whiskers might have a certain, and people try not to copy that too much. But, you know, sometimes it gets in the weeds when we get so far down that path. Yeah, that's a common shape right there.
This is a very classic common shape that was probably popularized by Simpson or maybe even somebody before that. I love this. I don't care how many people make this. I love this S7 style handle or S6 style handle. So yeah, it makes it hard because again, you want something symmetrical, you want something attractive. There's almost so much shit you could do.
So I want to, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this because I did the unboxing yesterday. Because people have been asking me about this since that video went live. Now this soap, which you see here, and I want to say this in the beginning. It's great that Douglas put my face there, but I didn't ask for that. Douglas just did that as kind of like thank you. And I asked him to make this a long, long time ago. I've been trying to get this made from artisans for years, and they just couldn't do it. They could not nail the scent, and Douglas has nailed the scent. And what it smells like is, it smells like the Perazzo Green aftershave.
I'm so excited for this. I fucking love this soap so much.
Not the soap. It does not smell like the Perazzo Green soap. It smells like the aftershave. He nailed it. And also, now there'll be an aftershave that actually hangs around. And he was kind enough to send this frou-frou atomizer, which actually works pretty good. It's the first time I've ever tried it. And it smells great. And so he's got the aftershaves too. He told me just before this, he is, this will be going up for sale 12 o'clock West Coast, or excuse me, 12 o'clock Eastern. That would be 9 o'clock West Coast time. So if you're on West Coast time, it'll still be when you're up. Or if you're on East Coast time, it's a little bit later. I apologize, but he's working to make this available. And no, I don't get a penny. This does not make me a penny. But if you've been looking to get the Perazzo Green scent in a shaving soap and a long-lasting, oh, you got it too, yeah. It's a great, classy scent. This will be available tonight, 12 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific. They're working to make that available. Thanks, Douglas. mostly for the scent, because I tried 2 other people, artisans. I'm not going to name them because I don't want to be disrespectful, to make this, and they could not get the scent right. Douglas got it right, so props to Douglas for that. I really appreciate the scent. I just really like it.
Dude, I'm so excited for that, man. I wanted it for years. It's something that we've had a conversation a few times about. I've had this conversation, I think, with Douglas before. I love that scent, and I'm excited that it's going to happen. I'm getting it. The moment that it's available, I'm buying it. I'm fucking
King
stoked.
Klitschko. You know King Klitschko needs one of these frou-frou atomizers. You know he needs one. Klitschko needs one of these because he's always a guy that's got to try everything. And the Chief needs to buy one of these for everyone. Well, he probably doesn't have any PAA aftershaves right now. I don't know if he does or not, but you need to get one of these because this is Chief. This should be Chief approved because it's fancy looking and it makes the aftershave more expensive. And we know that's what it's all about. The Gucci stuff. Okay, he does have some. Okay, good. Anyway, you can check that out if you want. Doesn't make me a penny. Doesn't matter. But if you love Perez or Green aftershave, maybe you like it. So that's cool. Do you think this? Oh, my screen is going dark there. I'm sorry. Think this contains any urea? That's been a big subject this week. Urea.
That has been, what a weird fucking thing to fucking talk about, you
I want to
guys.
see some
It's just,
spritzing. Yeah, it's good.
you look like an old ass woman doing that.
Urea. By the way, because we're running out of time, I've heard people thinking this week they're putting urine on their face because urea, according to my research, was formerly produced with horse urine. It's synthetic. So if you see that ingredient in a product today, it's synthetic. It's most likely not, and almost assuredly not, horse urine. I've heard that being spread around, and I thought, okay, let's not crap on people and make them think that people's they're putting urine on their face, or some people's product contain urine. It's synthetic, and so I didn't want anybody to get a bad rap, over that.
Yeah, much like we don't like artisans attacking people, we don't want people attacking the artisans for no good reason. And yeah, it's most likely any urea that's used in the products, it is synthesized. So don't be a bitch. Don't harass people for no reason. And yeah, enjoy the fucking product if you already liked it before. Now, if you never used it to begin with, like myself, then fucking trip. But,
what's your pick? What products would you like to talk about? You really enjoyed this week?
These 2 ones have been getting the most
Lancaster
attention
brush.
this past week. Oh, it's fucking beautiful. But I'm talking about more about the knots.
I really like that.
I'm trying to decide what's my new favorite knot, because I'm starting to gravitate away from that fader knot, and I like something a little bit more dense slightly and a little bit bigger in terms of the knot size. So these 2 right now are battling for which one's better. This one right here is awesome. No, not this one. I'm sorry. It's this one. This one is a Hair Force 1 knot, and then the Lancaster is Lancaster V1. So I'm debating on which knot is actually my new favorite now.
I'm going to choose. Obviously, I just showed you the awesome sauce, and that's super cool. But I used Shannon's Barbershop twice this week because I did it once off cam. I just took one day and I didn't record the shave. And this stuff, for the money, punches above, above its class. It's good stuff. It's very affordable. A lot of people don't try it. I don't know why. I really like it. Now, one thing I want to remind people. Oh, yeah, you got some Shannon's there, too. After this show at 9 p.m., 9:15 Eastern, if you are on the Lather and Blade Facebook group, and if you aren't, why aren't you? Join. We're going to open up a room. It's going to be called the Real Talk Post something. You'll see it if you're in the group. Join the group. There'll be many people there video chatting. We'll be shooting the breeze, talking about whatever you want to talk about. I hope Chief joins, because you know how much I love to talk about the Chief. Hey, Chief, by the way, David and them are always on me. They're like, you love the Chief so much. And I'm like, hey, man, he raises important topics. And so, no, we just bust each other's balls over it. But anyway.
It's a real fucking love. Dude, you have no idea. It's a real fucking love fest when it comes to Chris and the Chief. Chris, his fourth marriage is gonna be to fucking the Chief. I'm sure of it.
He honestly, he oh, in his videos, he makes me think and respond. We're running out of time, so we'll see you hopefully in the Lather and Blade chat at 9:15. See you there. Thank you.